Hello, welcome to this relaxed flow session. This is going to make you feel really open and spacious from the inside out. Your mind is going to be clearer, your body softer and more open. Just remember to breathe really deeply. Go with the flow, never push or force your way through. If anything, back off and enjoy it. Here we go. So sitting in a cross-legged position, nice and tall, lengthening through the spine. Take a big in breath, floating the arms all the way over the top of your head. And as you exhale, just bringing the hands down in front of your chest. Plug the thumbs into your chest and just see if you can tune into your heart beating. Notice your body working for you. Just gathering your thoughts here, looking further inwards. Long in and out breaths, in through the nose and out through the nose. Just really steadying the breath here. Allowing the shoulders just to move away from your ears. Nice, calm, long, easy breaths. And every time you breathe in, you might notice the spine lengthens. And every time you exhale, just grounding more through the base. Now every time a thought enters your mind, try not to get frustrated, just let it pass by, let it float through, just like the little clouds in the sky, just let it move through your mind. Get rid of any clutter and just keep bringing your attention back to this way of breathing. And we want to keep these long, slow and deep breaths with us as we move through the session today. So let's start incorporating some movement then, just bringing the fingertips down in front of your legs and just easing yourself forwards, nice and soft and easy. Don't go too far, go to the point where you feel the stretch and then just breathe into it and let your head and chest just get a little bit closer to the mat. And then take a stroll all the way over to the right. And with the right hand in contact with the ground, take a big in breath to float the left arm all the way up, opening through the fingers, spreading through the hand, and then take the arm all the way over your ear. And if you want to have a rotation here, just wringing and rinsing out through the torso, breathing deeply as you go, just opening up, softening through the joints, lubricating through the hips, taking some big breaths into the left lung, expanding your breathing capacity, and then that hand just comes all the way down. We take a nice easy stroll all the way back to centre, just melting forwards, lengthening ahead, just prowling, almost like an animal, just prowling forwards. The spine lengthens, the bottom stays in contact with the ground, and then we take a stroll all the way over to the other side. And keeping one hand on the ground, we just float the other arm all the way up and then take it over the ear, reaching all the way over the ear, lengthening all the way down the right side. Some big breaths here and a nice rotation if that feels good. If you'd rather just linger with the arm reaching over the head, then that's fine too. Just finding a spot that's good for you, just to create some space, just to take some big breaths. Nice and slow and easy with the breath. And then we bring that hand all the way down and we take a stroll all the way back to centre, just melting forwards, lengthening through the spine and letting the head and neck just melt in the direction of the mat. The hips open and we take some more big breaths here. And then a nice easy stroll all the way back towards the legs, and then we just take the hands all the way behind us with the fingertips facing forwards, opening through the chest and the throat here, and either staying here or lifting the hips a little bit higher to get that openness all the way down the front of the body. And if the hips are lifted, just bringing them all the way down now and coming all the way onto one hip and then into an all fours position where we can start exploring through the back. So just moving around, however feels good to move, just give the hips a bit of a swing, move around through the shoulders. Just notice what's going on with your back today. It might be different to the last time you practiced, so really start tuning in to how you're feeling right now. And then we just let the tummy go and really get used to letting the tummy go as you look all the way up. And we breathe back into a flat back. Exhale, suck the tummy button high, press the hands and knees down. And then we breathe back into a flat back. Exhale, let the tummy go as you look up. And a few more just like this. And every time you round through your back, try and press into a different area in the back. So start with the lower, then the middle, then all the way up to the top of the back. Just exploring, just creating some more space in the spine. It's a beautiful one if you ever have back pain, just keeping all the muscles that work so hard around the spine nice and soft and fluid. And a couple more of the cat stretch, just working through the spine. Nice, easy movements. And the next time your tummy works in the direction of the mat, just give your tail a bit of a wag and then look over the shoulder in the direction that your hip's travelling. See if you can catch a glimpse of the hip just moving from side to side. Good, and then coming all the way back to centre, take a stroll forwards with the hands into what we call puppy pose, letting the head and chest just fall through the arms. This is a nice one if you have tight shoulders, if you do lots of driving or computer work. Glancing up at the fingertips to get that squeeze in the shoulder blades. Good, and then taking a stroll all the way back to that all fours position. So just check your hands, make sure the fingers are spread and the first finger and thumb on each hand are pressing down. The toes curl under, we sit back in the direction of the heels, and then up we go into a downward facing dog. So keep moving, just bending one knee, bending the other. In all the postures, we just keep moving around and we keep the body really youthful, really soft, really childlike. So moving how it feels good to move. Breathing deeply as you go. And then bringing the shoulders directly over the wrists into this high press up position, pushing the heels away, really firing up through the backs of the knees, nice and strong. And we bring the right hand to the centre of the mat now, and we open out into a side plank, reaching high. The right knee can come down if that's easier for you, but reaching high, maybe stacking the feet if the legs are lengthened, maybe taking the top foot behind you if that feels good. And then we come all the way back to centre, into that plank position. Moving forwards, back, side to side, strengthening through the wrists as we go. And then the left hand comes to the centre of the mat. And we open out on this side. Maybe stacking the feet, maybe one foot behind. See what works for you. And then coming all the way back to centre in this high press up position. And then the knees come down, so do the thighs, the tummy, and we come all the way down to the mat. So interlacing the fingers on the lower back, push the hands in the direction of the heels as you open through the chest. And let's have a bit of a sway here from side to side, massaging through the abdominal organs. Moving the shoulders away from the ears. And then bringing the hands back in that strong position underneath the shoulders to ease all the way back in the direction of the heels. Let the forehead rest on the mat and take 3 long deep breaths here. The toes curl under and we meet back in downward facing dog. So here, have a bit of a wiggle, move around, have a bit of a dance, even everything out, make sure everything feels good. The hips lift, the spine lengthens. Move the legs around however you wish to move. And then on your next big in-breath, allow the right leg to just float all the way out behind you into downward dog split. Push the heel away on the right foot. Imagine you're pushing it into a wall. And on the left foot, allow the heel to get closer to the mat as your head and chest just fall through your arms. And then we bring that right foot all the way through between the hands. Help it if you need to. The back knee touches the ground, and it's a big in-breath into crescent moon, opening through the chest. So have a sway from side to side here. Get into the hips. Maybe circle the wrists a few times one way, a few times the other. Give the fingers a bit of a wiggle. And then the arms come down, and it's a nice easy twist over to the right, looking over the right shoulder. And then the fingertips come down either side of this front foot. We sit back in the direction of the heel, lift the front toes for runner's pose. Breathe in, lengthen the spine. Exhale and melt all the way over this front leg. So as many times as you need to do this is good. So breathing in, lengthening, and exhale and melt. So just finding a nice place to linger as we lengthen through the hamstring and the calf muscle. Feel free to keep moving. We try not to hold a rigid posture in this approach to yoga. Just keep moving around. And just make sure that the back toes are curled under as well, because we're going to lift the back knee now so that both legs lengthen. So we breathe in, lengthen the spine, exhale and melt all the way over this front leg. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You don't have to get all the way on the leg. Just going to the point where you feel the stretch and breathe into it. So pressing the left hand down, take a big in-breath to float the right arm all the way up, opening through the chest, twisting, wringing, rinsing out the torso, cleansing all your organs. Really push the back heel away. And then bring this top hand all the way down, somewhere on this front leg. Turn the back heel in and wrap your left arm around your lower back, really opening through the front of the body. And then lifting the left arm, opening through the chest into triangle pose. Looking up towards the left thumb. And then coming straight into warrior two. So nice and strong through this front leg, staring ahead of the front fingers. Shrug and release the shoulders, opening through the chest. A nice passive gaze as you stare ahead of the fingers. And then we breathe in to lengthen. And the exhale softens us back down. So we breathe in all the way up. And the exhale takes us back down. And a couple more. And then we breathe in and tip all the way back. And we exhale into an extended side stretch. The forearm on the thigh and take the arm all the way over the ear. Reaching all the way over, keep spinning open, rotating through the torso. Good, and then the hands come all the way down. Either side of this front foot, peel the back heel off the ground and bunny hop a little bit closer into a standing split. So the fingertips are there for a bit of support. Have a play with your balance, see what's going on. And then those back toes come all the way down. We're in this lunge position where we take a big in-breath to come all the way up into a high lunge. And exhale to soften. We breathe in all the way up. And exhale back down. And a couple more. Breathing in, up we go. And exhale down. And one final time, breathing in, allow the in-breath to lift you. And exhale, bring the hands all the way down. We meet in downward facing dog. Bending one knee, bending the other, getting nice and cozy here. Gather your thoughts, check in with your breathing, moving however it feels good to move, just keeping everything soft and fluid. And then we bring the shoulders directly over the wrists. we have a move from side to side, forwards and back, round and rounds. The knees, the thighs come all the way down into a nice back bend. If this is too high for you, just come a little bit lower or bring the forearms onto the mats. Make sure that your back feels okay. Looking over one shoulder, softening, looking over the other. And then we ease back in the direction of the heels. Let the forehead rest on the mat for 3 long, deep breaths. The toes curl under and we meet into downward facing dog. So again, just moving around, get into the habit of moving in this way. And the next time you breathe in, just allow the left leg to float all the way out behind you. So pushing the heel away, letting the head and chest just fall through the arms. Let your right heel get closer to the mat, scissoring the legs. And then we just bring that left foot all the way through between the hands. The back knee touches the ground. We take a big in-breath into crescent moon. The hips ease forwards. So a nice easy sway from side to side, moving the wrists, the hands, if that feels good. And then bringing the arms down, just looking over the left shoulder for a nice easy twist. All the time the hips are easing forwards. And then into a nice runner's pose, sitting back in the direction of the heel. The front toes lift up and we just melt all the way over that front leg. So breathing in, lengthening the spine, exhale and melting. Keep moving around, have a bit of a sway from side to side, see how that feels for you. And with the back toes curled under, we lift the back knee, and it's the same thing here. Breathing in, lengthening, exhale and melting. Both legs lengthening as much as possible. Just melting all the way over that front leg. So pressing the right fingertips down, we take a big in-breath to float the left arm all the way up. So twisting, rotating, wringing and rinsing out the torso. And then that top hand comes all the way down. Somewhere on this front leg, we turn the back heel in and wrap the right arm around the lower back, opening through the chest and the hips, and then floating the arm all the way up. So releasing the shoulders, letting the shoulders move away from the ears. Taking some big breaths here. And coming straight into a nice warrior two. So nice and strong again on this side. Nice and strong through the legs, lengthening through the arms, staring ahead of the front fingers. Let the thoughts just come and go. And we breathe in, up we go. And exhale and soften. So breathing in, it lifts us up. And the exhale softens us back down. And just a couple more, breathing in, all the way up. And exhale, back down. Breathing in, up we go. And exhale, soften. Breathe in, tip all the way back. And exhale into a nice extended side stretch. Reaching all the way over the ear. Opening through the torso. And then just bringing the hands either side of the front foot. We bunny hop the back foot closer for a nice standing split. Doesn't have to be a big deal, just lifting the leg as much as you can. Have a play with your balance here. Maybe it's a bit wobbly on this side. See what's going on. And then the back toes make contact with the mats. We're in a lunge position. We breathe in to lift all the way up into a high lunge and exhale all the way down. So breathing in, up we go. Exhale and down. And just a couple more. Breathing in, up we go. Exhale and down. Breathing in all the way up. Exhale and down. The palms press down. We meet back in downward facing dog for a bit of a wiggle. And from here, we take a stroll all the way to the front of the mats. So the feet are hip width apart. We hold onto the elbows. Have a nice bob up and down here. Soften through the knees. Release the arms and ragdoll around the legs. Make sure you're really loose and free in the upper body. And then nice and soft through the knees, we roll notch by notch all the way up into standing. A big in-breath brings the arms all the way over the top of the head, tucking the tailbone under, opening through the chest, and swan dive forwards. Planting the palms down on the mat. Let's take a step back into our downward facing dog. Good, so bending the knees, moving softly around. Bringing the shoulders then all the way over the top of the wrists, round and round, forward and back, and lowering the body down into your back bend. Remember, the forearms can be on the ground if that feels better for you. Really tune in to how the back is feeling. And we use the hips back in the direction of the heels. The forehead rests on the ground for 3 long, deep breaths. So lifting the hips then, and just reaching forwards into that puppy pose once more. Squeezing through the shoulders. It's a beautiful lengthener for the spine. And let's get into the shoulders while we're here. So feed your right arm all the way underneath the left arm and allow the side of your face to just come onto the mat. This is called needle and thread pose. It's a lovely one for opening through the shoulders and releasing tension there. So reach all the way out to the side, reach forwards too, and take some big breaths. Imagine you're breathing into that area in between the shoulders. And then we release. Reaching forwards, and we just go over to the other side. Same thing here. Opening, reaching, lengthening. Good, and reaching forwards once more. The toes curl under. Let's meet back into that downward facing dog. So whatever you need to do here, just moving around, keeping everything soft. If the shoulders are aching, if it doesn't feel good in the wrists, come down onto the forearms and just give the shoulders a bit of a break. And then we take a stroll forwards once more to the front of the mat where the big toes touch and the inner ankles touch, and we sit low to reach high. Sitting low to reach high, squeezing the legs together into chair pose. And then the hands come into prayer position. We open out to the right. So using your arm as a lever on the outside of the leg. And then coming back to centre to sit low to reach high. And the same on the other side. Reverse prayer twist. Opening, twisting. And all the way back to centre. Sitting low to reach high. Use the out breath to get rid of anything you don't need. And then swing the arms behind you, interlace the fingers, lengthen the legs, lift the arms. Let's get rid of any remaining tension in the shoulders. And we let the hands go. Plant the palms down and we meet back in that downward facing dog, stepping, jumping, whatever you want to do. So your next big in-breath takes the right leg all the way out behind you. This time the foot comes towards the bottom. We open through the right hip, looking under the right arm, and give the foot a circle a few times one way, a few times the other. Maybe rotate that grounded foot around so you can come into an arch. Maybe just staying in down dog split, that's fine. So if you're in that arch, coming back to down dog split now, and we bring that foot all the way through between the hands. So we're in this lunge position. Get your balance here, get your bearings, and take a big in breath all the way up into a high lunge. Exhale, back down, and a couple more. Now this time as we come down, we open out to the right, left arm forwards, right arm behind. We breathe in back to centre, exhale and twist. Breathing in, back to centre, exhale and twist. This time as we twist, we hold it there. Opening through the chest, lowering the shoulders, and then tipping all the way back. Reaching down the back leg. And coming all the way back to centre, where we turn the back heel in, back into that cosy warrior two, that familiar warrior two. Staring ahead of the front fingers. So we breathe in and lengthen, exhale and soften back down. We breathe in all the way up, exhale, back down. The in-breath lifts us, the exhale softens us down. Use the breath to help you. Focus purely on the here and now. Nothing else matters right now. Breathe in, tip back. And as you exhale, coming all the way into an extended side stretch. Option 1 is to have the forearm on the thigh. Option 2, bring the hand all the way down, reaching high, rotating and opening, and then taking the arm over the ear to reach forwards too. Good, so this top hand comes down. We turn the big toes inwards for this wide-legged forward bend. So bring your fingertips in line with the toes. Breathe in, lengthen. Exhale, bring your head a little closer to the mat. And then separate the hands so that you can either hook onto the big toes or place the hands somewhere nearby the feet. And then bending the right leg, sinking low into that right leg and looking towards the left toes. Coming all the way back to centre, bending the left leg, sinking low and looking towards the right toes. And coming all the way back to centre. Let's take a stroll with the hands back to that front foot, where we bunny hop the back foot closer into that standing split. And then we bring this leg all the way through into standing. So we're hugging the left knee into the chest. We take it out to the side and bring it back. And then we find a good place to linger for tree pose. Hands in prayer position. And remember, trees never stay still really. They're always moving around, so feel free to have a wobble. Focusing on one point. Good, and then just lowering the hands. And we take a dive forwards now. So that left leg goes back out behind us into the standing split before placing the toes back on the ground. A big in-breath brings us into a high lunge. And exhale back down. Let's meet in downward facing dog. So just even everything out again, moving from one side to the other. Before bringing the shoulders directly over the wrists and coming down into your back bends. Whichever's good for you. Softening. Breathing deeply as we cleanse and flush the kidneys. And then easing all the way back, the toes curl under, and we meet in downward facing dog. Good, so your next big in-breath floats the left leg all the way out behind you. The foot comes towards the bottom. We look under the left arm and really get into that left hip. Either stay here or rotate the grounded foot so far around that you can create this arch, reaching, opening, lifting through the hips. A nice energizing posture. And coming back to the previous position before bringing that left foot all the way through between the hands. So we're back in this lunge position then. Get your bearings here, forwards, back, side to side. And then breathing in, coming all the way up into a high lunge. Exhale back down, and a few more. Using the breath. Now as you come down this time, a nice easy twist, opening out to the left. So the right arm forwards, left behind. We breathe in back to centre, exhale and twist. Hold it here, opening through the chest, lowering the shoulders and then tipping all the way back. And we come back to centre, turn the back heel in, warrior two. Sinking low into this front leg, staring ahead of the front fingers. We breathe in and lengthen. And exhale and soften. We breathe in, up we go. Exhale and down. So fill yourself up with the breath to lift you. Exhale to soften back down. We breathe in and tip all the way back. And we exhale into an extended side stretch. And then the hands come down, the toes turn inwards, the hands come onto the mat. And we just take a stroll forwards. So lengthening through the spine, a wide-legged downward facing dog. And then we take a stroll back, walking through the hands. So bringing even more length down the back of the legs. Good, and then we take a stroll forwards, all the way to that front foot, where we bunny hop the back foot closer into a standing split. And then bring that leg all the way through, hugging the right knee in. Take the knee out to the side and bring it back. And then find a nice spot for your tree pose. Whatever you want with the hands, they can be out here if that's better for you. Keep moving, keep softening through that standing leg, focusing your gaze, clearing your mind. Even the geese are enjoying it. Okay, here we go. Take a dive forwards. The toes touch the mat. So a big in-breath brings us into a high lunge. Exhale back down. Breathing in, up we go. Exhale and down. Twice more. Fill yourself up with the breath. Exhale to soften down. Good. Let's meet in downward facing dog. Good. And then the knees touch the mat. The knees separate, big toes touch, and we rest here in extended child's pose. So some big breaths here in extended child's pose. Even in this pose, keep moving. Move the hips from side to side. Check in with how you're feeling, your mood, your emotions. How's your breathing? Good, so coming all the way up, bringing the knees together, just resting the hands on the knees, just take a moment here. The left hand can come onto the right knee, the right hand all the way behind you. Breathe in, lengthen the spine, exhale and twist. So breathing in, lengthening, exhale and twisting. And all the way back to centre, and then over to the other side. Breathe in, lengthen, exhale, twist. Breathing in, lengthening, exhale and twisting. Good, and coming all the way back to centre. So slide forwards then with the hands, make sure the fingers are spread, the first finger and thumbs pressed down, back into downward facing dog, where we breathe in and float the right leg out behind us. No big deal with this, bring it straight through between the hands. Turn the back heel in, straight into a nice warrior one. So in warrior one, we have the hips facing forwards, the shoulders a square T. Reaching high, or maybe bring the hands onto the back of the head, whatever feels good for you. Just take a moment here. And then we bring the hands behind the lower back, interlacing the fingers, opening through the chest. Take a big in breath, and as you exhale, come forwards on the inside of the leg, lifting the arms, squeezing the shoulder blades, breathing in all the way back up, and exhale, come forwards, lifting the arms. Release the hands and bring the hands on the inside of this front foot. Peel the back heel off the floor, heel toe this right foot to the edge of the mat, and just move around here so we can get into the hip. In this runner's lunge, maybe it's okay on the hands, maybe it would be better down on the forearms. See what works for you. Good, and then back up on the hands if you're not there already. And then heel toe this right foot over to the opposite side of the mat for pigeon pose. So make sure that you're nice and centred. You don't want to be over on one hip, so lift yourself up so everything's centred. Pressing the fingertips down for half pigeon. Opening through the chest, the throat. And then coming forwards, if this feels okay, onto the forearms. Make a triangle with the hands. Rest the soft, fleshy part of the thumbs in between the eyebrows, and just rest here for a few long, deep breaths. Softening the piriformis muscle, the psoas. Let everything melt. And then coming back up onto your hands, if you're not there already. Looking over the left shoulder, lift that back foot. Now this might be enough just to glance at the back foot, or maybe you can make contact with the left hand or place the foot in the crease of the elbow. See what works for you as we just take a few breaths here. Twisting, curving through the spine. Nice, so then we release. The hands come down. Bring yourself into a plank position, nice and strong, and then all the way down into your back bend. Remember, the forearms can be on the ground. Just make it nice and easy for yourself. So we ease back in the direction of the heels, the toes curl under, we meet back in that downward facing dog. So from here, a big in-breath floats the left leg all the way out behind you. Remember, no big deal, just a nice gentle lift, and then bring that foot through. Turn the back heel in, straight into your warrior one. Shoulders are square, hips are square, opening through the chest. So remember, the hands can go on the back of the head if that feels better for you. Or maybe reaching high, maybe the arms down by the side of the body. Whatever feels good. And then we interlace the fingers behind the lower back to breathe in and open through the chest. Exhale, come forwards on the inside of that leg, lifting the arms. So we breathe in, opening through the chest. Exhale, coming forwards, lifting the arms. And then the hands come all the way down on the inside of the front foot. Peel the back heel off the floor. Just heel toe this foot to the outside of the mat. And either stay on your hands or come all the way down to the forearms. It might feel different on this side, so just have a play, see what's going on. And then coming back onto the hands if you're not there already. Heel toe this left foot to the opposite side of the mat, centre through the hips, half pigeon. Press the fingertips down, open through the chest. And then if it feels okay to do so, coming down onto your forearms, make a triangle with your hands. And we just rest the fleshy part of the thumbs in between the eyebrows. And coming back up onto the hands, look over the right shoulder, lift the back foot. Maybe it's enough to just take a glimpse of that back foot. Maybe it feels quite nice to make contact, so have a play with that. And we release, and we bring this back leg all the way around to the front, where we just want to have a play with stacking the legs. So try and bring your right foot onto the top of the left knee and just get yourself comfortable there if possible. If it's not comfy at all, bring yourself into the cross-legged position. And then we just take a stroll forwards with the hands, see how that feels. Just a bit of an explore through the hips here. We go round to the other side too. This is a really nice one for getting into the glutes, into the piriformis muscle. If you ever suffer from sciatica, this is a lovely one to ease it. But just take it nice and easy. So we change the cross of the legs. Make sure we do both sides. So just exploring, moving around the legs, just see how it feels in the glutes, in the hips. Good, and coming all the way back to centre to release, and lengthen the legs out in front of you for a nice easy forward bend. Now if you've got any issues with your knees or your lower back, you want to keep the knees nice and soft. If everything's all right there, press the backs of the knees down. But we take a big in-breath to lengthen through the spine, pushing the feet away, and then just melt all the way over the legs. We breathe in to back off, we exhale to just melt forwards. Cooling and calming. Just try and let go here on every out breath. Just let go even further. Good, and then we just roll all the way down onto our backs. The arms come out to the side, the knees come into the chest. And then we just take the knees to one side. And we take the knees to the other side. And a few more like that, just loosening up through the lower back. Good, just give the knees a bit of a squeeze into the chest. And then with the hands on the knees, a few hip circles opening forwards together. and then just lengthening one leg out and then the other. Just come into a nice fish pose, pressing the forearms down, the hands just rest on the lower back, just pointing through the toes and allowing the head to fall back. Nice, and then just coming all the way down onto the mat. Let the backs of the hands just rest on the ground, the palms face up, the back makes a deep imprint into the mat. Move the head from side to side, make sure everything's feeling okay. Let the toes just flop out to the side. Take some big breaths and feel really happy with yourself. Take a few minutes and just relax.